Sean Diddy Combs is saying he's sorry 2 days after a video exclusively obtained by CNN shows him beating Cassie Ventura inside a hotel in 2016.
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know.
Let's dive into one of the most jaw-dropping updates shaking up the entertainment world right now. You won't believe this. It looks like Diddy has clawed his way out what seemed like an inescapable legal mess. Yes, the same Diddy who's been under the spotlight for a whirlwind of allegations over the past few years. Just when it seemed like the walls were closing in, the tide is turning. Is this the moment that changes everything for him? Or is it just a calm before another storm? Buckle up, because this is one wild ride.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
So here's the T. Diddy just scored a major win in court and got everyone talking. A New York judge has dismissed several key claims in a high-profile lawsuit brought against him by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. If you've been following the saga, you'll know that Lil Rod dropped some seriously scandalous allegations against the music mogul, accusing him of misconduct and impropriety during their work together on Diddy's Project Love album Off the Grid. Now these weren't just your run-of-the-mill industry grievances. Oh no, these were explosive claims that painted a dark and disturbing picture of what allegedly went on behind closed doors.
This, along with Cassie's lawsuit that you talked about earlier that was settled, reads a lot like what we saw in the R. Kelly case in the EDN.
But not so fast. In a surprising twist, the judge overseeing the case, Jay Paulin, wasn't fing all of Lil Rod's accusations in a 31-page ruling. The judge threw out multiple charges, including ones related to racketeering and breach of contract. Why? Well, according to the court, the evidence just didn't add up. The judge ruled that Lil Rod failed to prove he was harmed by any violation of the so-called act. And let's not forget the whole payment dispute over Lil Rod's work on the album. Yeah, that got tossed out. Two, apparently the court decided that any alleged failure to pay him wasn't connected to any larger wrongdoing. Ouch.
It's very scary for myself, and it has me worried about my kids, and just sleeping with anxiety.
And it doesn't stop their claims of emotional distress. Also dismissed, the judge described those accusations as being too general and conclusory. In other words, not specific enough to hold water. In court, you've got to wonder how Lil Rod and his team are feeling after this. His attorney Tyrone Blackburn didn't exactly come out unscathed. Either the judge flat out criticized him for his filings, calling them riddled with inaccurate statements of law and inappropriate ad-hom attacks on opposing counsel. Yikes. Blackburn, however, is putting on a brave face, telling Rolling Stone that a win is a win and that the real battle is about to begin. He claims it's time for discovery, hinting that there might be more to come. But seriously, how much more? And will it be enough to turn things around? Now, don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean Diddy in the clear just yet. While a big chunk of the case has been stripped away, some of the more salacious allegations are still standing. The court has allowed claims involving inappropriate conduct and questionable behavior to move forward, particularly under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. And get this, these claims don't just involve Diddy. His chief of staff, Christina Korum, is in a hot seat too. According to the lawsuit, there are specific incidents where Jones alleges he was coerced into uncomfortable situations, and including being transported across state and international borders for questionable purposes. It's heavy stuff. And the fact that these claims have been allowed to proceed suggests that this legal battle is far from over.
Okay, moving on. Diddy being accused of assault by male employee.
Oh my God, no.
Yes, oh my God, yes.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah, you just couldn't stay out of this one. A move that's as controversial as it is headline grabbing. You recently came out and support Diddy. And not just any, we're talking about a full-blown rant on social media where he basically accused Lil Rod and others of trying to extort Diddy. How everybody got a story, but they so mad at Puffy, reportedly wrote in one of his now deleted posts. He even went as far as to suggest that some of the allegations were exaggerated or outright fabricated for financial gain. Love him or hate him, West's voice carries weight, and his public backing of Diddy has definitely added a new layer to the narrative, but will help or hurt Diddy's case in the long run? That's the million-dollar question. And let's not forget the ripple effect this has had on public perception. Some fans are ringing behind Diddy, arguing that the dismissals prove there's a lack of evidence against him. Others, however, see it as just another example of a powerful figure dodging accountability. Social media is on fire with debates over whether Diddy's legal team is just better at playing the game, or if the accusations really are as shaky as the judge seems to think. Either way, this case is shaping up to be one of the most polarizing celebrity controversies in recent memory.
Listen to everybody, but you believe all proof.
Believe the facts.
This video is proof.
Oh, hands down proof.
But what does this mean for Diddy's future? Could this be the beginning of a comeback, or is it just a temporary reprieve in a much larger battle? Remember, This isn't the only case on Diddy's plate. There are still multiple lawsuits and allegations swirling around, including some that are even more shocking than Lil Rod's. And let's not forget the federal criminal charges Diddy is facing. Those are a whole different beast, and some legal experts are saying they could carry serious consequences if the prosecution's case holds up. So, while this recent court ruling might feel like a win for Diddy, the road ahead is anything but smooth.
I've had clients describe MDC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
What's also fascinating is how this case fits into the broader pattern of controversies surrounding Diddy over the past year. His name has been dragged through the mud in ways that even his closest fans couldn't have seen coming, from former collaborators to ex-partners. It seems like everyone has a story to tell, and yet Diddy continues to deny all allegations, maintaining his innocence and insisting that the truth will come out. Is this confidence or just another layer of his defense strategy? Only time will tell.
Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
What's undeniable, though, is that the stakes couldn't be higher for Diddy. This isn't just about clearing his name, it's about protecting his legacy. We're talking about a man who built an empire, who's been a cultural icon for decades, but now that empire is hanging by a thread. And every new development in these cases has a potential to either save him or bring it all crashing down. And let's be real, the court of public opinion is just as important as the actual courtroom in cases like these. Will the dismissal sway public sentiment in his favor, or will the remaining allegations keep the shadow of doubt firmly in place? And what about the judge's warning to Tyrone Blackburn? Could this be a sign that the legal teams involved need to tread more carefully moving forward? It's a rare and bold move for a judge to call out an attorney's conduct so publicly, and it adds yet another layer of drama to an already chaotic saga. If Blackburn doesn't clean up his act, could it jeopardize Lil Rod's case altogether? Or will he double down and come back swinging in the next phase of the trial?
So I think that those situations lend to maybe some issues with tampering. And I do feel like there are victims who are scared to come forward, including my client. She was very nervous about if he was going to get bail this week. And once I told her, and then come after people, including her and some of the other individuals. And she was very relieved when he did not.
One thing's for sure, the story is far from over. As much as this recent ruling feels like a victory for Diddy, it's more of a small battle one in what's shaping up to be an all-out war with the stakes so high in the spotlight, so intense, every move from here on out will be scrutinized like never before. And with Diddy throwing his support into the mix, you can bet the drama is only going to escalate what happens next. So let's get into the next chapter of this roller coaster saga. And trust us, it's just as wild as what we've already covered. If you thought Diddy's recent legal win against Lil Rod was the end of the drama, think again. Because now all eyes are shifting to another battle. And this one's even messier. Yep, we're talking about the situation with Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, whose allegations against him have been making waves for months. And just like the Lil Rod case, this one is packed with shocking claims, unexpected twists, and a whole lot of questions.
Does he have a shot? I think his attorneys raised some good arguments.
I think they raised good arguments as well. Maybe this will be third time's the charm, because the difference between this bail motion and the prior two is that this one really does get to the heart of what the court was concerned about, which was witness intimidation.
So let's rewind for a second and set the stage. Cassie, who was in an on-again, off-again relationship with Diddy for nearly a decade, has accused him of some seriously disturbing behavior during their time together. When these allegations first came to light late last year, they sent shockwaves through both the music industry and the public. But hey, race, where things started to get interesting almost as quickly as the accusations surfaced, the case seemed to hit a wall. A big reason, evidence that was supposed to bolster Cassie's claims, has reportedly been removed from consideration. And while the details are murky, this development has everyone asking what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's trying a criminal case in the modern times. A lot of evidence is on electronic devices, cell phone, tablets, computers, things of that nature. And the devices, especially if you have like external hard drives, 90-something terabytes of data on a single device makes me think it's some type of hard drive. That takes weeks to go through just for one device on its own.
Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's break this down. Cassie's claims against Diddy were heavy stories of mistreatment, manipulation, and more. But in a dramatic twist, some of the most damaging pieces of evidence have been called into question. Diddy's legal team, which have been firing on all cylinders, has argued that certain videos and other materials tied to the case aren't reliable. One of the most talked about pieces of evidence is a video that appears to show Diddy and Cassie in a heated altercation at a Los Angeles hotel back in 2016. You've probably seen the headlines about this one. It's a clip that's been making the rounds online. And it's not a good look for Diddy, but Hey Race the Kicker Diddy's lawyers are claiming that the footage has been altered according to his defense team. The video was edited in ways that make it look more incriminating than it actually is. They've even gone as far as accusing CNN, the outlet that originally aired the footage, of tampering with it in a bold move. Diddy's team subpoenaed the network for the original copy of the video, only to claim that it had been destroyed. They're alleging that what's left is doctored with timestamps covered and the speed of the video manipulated to make it seem more dramatic. It's a wild accusation. And while CNN has denied any wrongdoing, the back and forth has only added to the chaos surrounding this case. Most importantly,
and most notably, when he walked inside the courtroom, the first thing that he looked at was his family. As soon as he saw his family, he just lit up. Another thing to note, too, is he wasn't shackled, but he was wearing a khaki prison-like jumpsuit when he appeared inside court, and his family appeared on their end very just happy.
And let's not forget Cassie's response to all of this through her attorney. She's made it clear that she stands by the video, insisting that it accurately reflects what happened during that confrontation. Her legal team has called Diddy's claims about the footage disingenuous and expressed confidence that the video will be allowed as evidence in court. But Hey Race the thing, even if the video does make it to trial, will it be enough to sway public opinion, or will the doubts raised by Diddy's defense team muddy the waters just enough to create reasonable doubt in legal waters? Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on the latest celebrity drama. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications to stay ahead of the story.